We live in a world that just never stops talking. But what if I told you the most powerful thing you could do is say nothing at all? Yeah. Today we're diving into the strategic power of silence. We're going to see how mastering the pause can completely change the game for your communication.
Really think about that for a second. Our world is just flooded with noise, right? Notifications, back-to-back meetings, it's constant. But we're about to uncover how strategic silence, well, it's not just empty space. It's actually your secret weapon for gaining real influence and showing true authority.
Okay, so to really get what I mean, let me tell you a quick story about a guy named John. Now, John was a salesman, and he was kind of like a lot of us. He believed that talking fast meant you were confident, that you knew your stuff. His whole strategy was to just fill every single second with words, with information.
So his pitches, man, they were just this whirlwind of features and benefits and data points, all delivered without even taking a breath. He genuinely thought he was blowing his clients away with how much he knew. But what was really happening? He was just overwhelming them.
And then, of course, one day, it all came crashing down. He's in a meeting with his biggest prospect, and they just mentally checked out. You know that look, right? Their eyes totally glazed over. John realized he wasn't connecting, he was just making noise. And boom, he lost the deal. So, totally frustrated, he decided, okay, I have to try something completely different.
So in his very next meeting, he does something pretty radical. He walks in, and before he says a word, he just takes a 3-second pause, makes direct eye contact, and then he asks this one single powerful question. And after he asks it, he just shuts up. He waits.
And you know what? That silence, it changed the entire energy in the room. Suddenly, the client was leaning in. Their curiosity was piqued. And guess what? John closed the deal. That is the power we're going to unpack today.
So what John stumbled upon is this huge secret. Silence isn't empty space at all. It's an active tool. It's something the world's best communicators, we're talking presidents, top TED speakers, you name it, they use it all the time to build anticipation, to establish credibility, and to really command the room.
And this isn't just a feeling, okay? The impact is totally measurable. Get this. According to an analysis in the book Talk Like TED, just by using strategic silence, you can boost how much your audience actually remembers by up to 22%. That is a huge win for doing, well, nothing.
And the science really backs this up. There was research from MIT that found when we use all those filler words, the ums and uhs, it can actually drop our perceived intelligence by a crazy 15%. But here's the magic trick. When you replace those fillers with just a calm, deliberate pause, your authority shoots way up. You stop sounding hesitant, and you start sounding thoughtful.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? How do we harness this power? It's not about just being quiet for the sake of it, right? It's about using the right pause at the right time. So let's break down the 3 essential pauses that are going to be your new toolkit for influence.
All right, first up, the thoughtful pause. Think about it. When someone asks you a question, especially a tough one, what's our first instinct? To jump in and answer immediately, right? Well, instead of doing that, try this. Just pause for 2, maybe 3 seconds. It sends a powerful signal. It says, I'm not just giving you a knee-jerk reaction. I'm actually considering your question. It just screams depth and maturity.
Okay, next on the list is the emphasis pause. I love this one. Think of it as your verbal highlighter pen. You use it right before and right after a really key point. That little pause beforehand, it builds suspense, it makes people lean in and wonder, what's he going to say? And the pause after? That lets the idea really land. It gives it weight.
And check out the difference this makes. Listen to this. This is a game changer. We need to act fast. Let's move forward. See how that just gets lost? It feels rushed, almost disposable. Now listen to the same words with the emphasis pause. This is a game changer. We need to act fast. Let's move forward. See? The second one just commands authority. It has power. And finally, we've got the reflective pause. This one is so simple, but it is so effective. All you do is this. After you ask a question, stop talking. That's it. Fight that urge we all have to jump in and rephrase it or fill the silence. Just giving the other person that 3 to 5 seconds of space, it invites a way deeper, more thoughtful response, not just whatever popped into their head first.
So let's do a super quick recap. You've got the emphasis pause before a key point to build suspense, the reflective pause after a question to get a better answer, and the thoughtful pause before you answer to show you're considering things carefully. Each one has a specific job, and trust me, mastering them will totally transform how people see.
All right, so we've got the theory down, but let's talk about putting this into practice. Because I know what you're thinking. There's that one big fear that holds a lot of us back. What if this silence just feels, well, super awkward?
Okay, here's the big secret. Silence only feels awkward if you make it awkward. Think of it this way. Whoever is more comfortable with the silence is the one who holds the power in that conversation. The key is to just stay present. Maintain calm eye contact, keep your body language open, and just let the other person think. When you're confident in the silence, it stops being awkward and starts being strategic.
But, and this is a really important but, silence is a tool. It's not a magic wand. You wouldn't use a long, dramatic pause when you're yelling, "Fire!" right? Or right before the punchline of a joke. In those high-energy situations where you need momentum, you got to keep things flowing. The point is to use silence strategically, not just all the time.
So the big question is, how do we turn all this cool knowledge into an actual skill? Well, like anything, it just takes a little practice. So I've got a super simple, actionable challenge for you that you can start literally today to make this whole strategic silence thing a natural habit.
It's just a 3-day challenge, super easy. Day 1. I want you to focus on that emphasis pause. Just try to use a 2-second pause before 3 important things you say all day. That's it. Day 2, practice the reflective pause. After you ask someone a question, count to 3 in your head before saying anything else. And day 3, bring in the thoughtful pause. If a tense moment comes up, just consciously take a breath before you respond. I guarantee by the end of these 3 days, you'll already feel the shift.
So what's the big takeaway from all of this? It's that what you don't say is often just as powerful, if not more powerful, than what you do say. Silence creates focus. It conveys confidence, and it gives your words the space they need to actually land. So my final question for you is this. Where are you going to use your new silent superpower first?